This video is brought to you by Harold Sack, who gave me a massive 1 year's worth of subscriptions on Patreon. The Raven Man versus Jorn, God of Winter. One lander. Wouldn't be half bad if we had two lands in hand. We're on the play. Yeah, I'm going to have to mulligan that annoyingly. Alright, that's better. Two lander. So keep that one and we'll get rid of... get rid of the Necrogoyf. So we'll get down the rack first of all. I don't want my opponent to discard any cards until the Raven Man's in play. So we'll set up with the rack first. Seeing a turn 1 creature, snow creature, Ascendant Spirit. And we draw into Extract the Truth. Target opponent sacks an enchantment or reveals their hand. Creature enchantment or planeswalker discarded from it. So we'll play out the Raven Man here. Wild Growth goes onto a snow-covered island. So this won't generate snow mana, but does double the amount of mana that land will generate. And they blow something up. That is a Dismember, getting rid of our Raven Man already. So we'll dump that in the command zone. Down to 3 cards already, so that's pretty good for the rack. We get into another land, that's really good. So I think I'll just hold on to Feed the Swarm and blow up their commander with that. So as we thought, they get down Jorn, God of Winter. Unfortunately, Feed the Swarm is not an instant. Gonna have to take another turn off on getting our commander into play again. Alright, a Mind Twist. Yeah, we'll hold off on the Mind Twist as well. Let's just blow up their commander. They are missing land drops, so that should make it really difficult for them. Glittering Frost. They are managing to make mana, but like I said, missing land drops. So that'll be 4 mana that they've got now. If they drop a land next turn, they can get Jorn into play again. We get a Swamp, so that's really good. We can play our commander and play out the Raven's Crime here. So making them discard a card here. We can replay the Raven's Crime from our graveyard by discarding a land and paying the cost. We can't choose which land which card they discard here. They got rid of Priest of the Haunted Edge. So that triggers the Raven Man, and we do get a Raven, a bird token, 1/1 with flying. The rack hasn't dealt any damage yet. We should start dealing damage to them with a Mind Twist next turn though. They haven't dropped a land and slammed down their commander, so I'm guessing they didn't draw into one. Abominable Treefolk is a 5/5, equal to the number of snow permanents that they control. They tap down our Raven Man. Our bird can't block, unfortunately, so we can't trade them. Right, there is a Dark Deal, so if they manage to get into some card draw at some point, we could take advantage of that with Dark Deal. This doesn't refill our hand, it has us discard. It has us go down a card actually, so we'll wait for them to refill their hand first. That means that we can go Mind Twist on them where X is 3, and they will discard a bunch of cards at random, which is going to empty out their hand here. They outrace us with this thing, unfortunately. They had a Beast Within, a Crufix God of Horizons, and a Replicating Ring, and they are in top deck mode now. Might as well swing in at them with the bird token, and the Raven Man triggers again. The rack is going to start lightning bolting them now. Still quite a ways away from beating them here though. Alright, they've leveled up this thing, so that is a 2/3 now. Knocking us down to 25, they are going to outrace us here. Murderous Rider helps us to deal with the big tree folk though. So let's go for the Swift End first of all. Blow up the big tree folk and then Extract the Truth. I'm going to have them sacrifice an enchantment because they're really relying on that for mana at the moment. So they get rid of the Wild Growth because that's not snow mana. We can lightning bolt them with our creatures. We're not going to get another Raven unfortunately. The rack will deal a couple more damage to them though. Still missing the lands, they're really unlucky here. 2/3 swings in at us again. It is 3 mana to level that up, so they're obviously looking for something else to do with that mana. Oh, this doesn't make snow mana, weirdly. Why doesn't that make snow mana? That's really strange. Okay, that's lucky they got into a Toxic Deluge top deck. So we'll put the Raven Man back into the command zone. Can't play that until we've got a land, a Maegrim. Yeah. That's pretty good, but we'll go for the Murderous Rider first because we can still be dealing damage to our opponent with that, as well as negating the damage dealt by this thing, because that does have lifelink, a 2/3 lifelink. The Rat, considering it's a 1 mana permanent, dealing a nice chunk of damage now over the course of the game. Seeing a Marit Lage's Slumber now, they need to control 10 or more snow permanents in order for this to be a threat, so thankfully not there yet. There is the Swamp, so might as well replay the Raven Man. And then they're likely going to block here, but we might as well gain the life. Okay, they just take the damage for some reason. So down to 19, we're slowly getting closer to a victory here. And they finally get into another land. Still don't have enough for their Jorn though. Now levelling this thing up, it becomes a 4/4 with flying, so that will stop us from swinging in at them. Yeah, and just deciding to hold back, that's probably the right thing to do here. Animate Dead. Can we do anything with an Animate Dead? Yeah, we actually have a bunch of snow lands in play ourselves, so the Abominable Tree Folk will be a 6/6 for us. Suppose we might as well go for that. So we'll tap down their Spirit out of the way. Going to go for the Megrim here as well. That's a nice setup piece for us if we get to discard a bunch of cards from their hand with the Dart Deal. So then we get to deal 4 damage to them. And then we have frozen this thing down so it doesn't untap during the untap step, which means we can whack them for a whole bunch unless they do something about our creatures this turn. Down to 13 now thanks to the rack. Still missing a land apparently. Appetite for the Unnatural. Destroy an artifact or enchantment. So the fact that, assuming that they just top deck this, the fact that we're threatening them with their own big creature steers that away from the rack, which, yeah, is obviously beneficial for us. So we are forced to sacrifice their Tree Folk. I'm thinking that the one card they've had in hand for most of the game now is a big spell that they can't afford. We can see what it is here actually. Let's go for Raven's Crime. I'll discard the Marsh Flats. That allows us to recast Raven's Crime and we'll get a Raven out of the deal as well as see what they've got in their hand. That was a Null Rod. So that shocks them with Megrim. So 4 damage here. The rack will Lightning Bolt them as well. We managed to get them down to 6. Varagoth into play now, so they will be able to tutor up answers or maybe just tutor up mana, because they've been really unlucky this game. Seeing a Davriel now, which is going to deal more damage to them because they don't have any cards in hand. So get the Planeswalker down. So yeah, I think we get them here, don't we? It's a Lightning Bolt here. This is 2 damage. Yeah, and our opponent sees that. We go wide on them there, likely just hit them with the bird token, knocks them down to 5. And then this knocks them down to 2, and Davriel gets the last point of damage there. So fairly commanding one, although it was on the back of our opponent being mana screwed. Yeah, I think this deck is likely going to take a lot of work, but it is the first deck that the first game that I've played with this deck, so yeah, I'll give it a few more runs and see how it pans out. Want to see more from the Raven Man? Then be sure to let me know, and please consider donating on Patreon, because these games and deck lists take a hell of a long time to construct and get games for, as well as editing all the videos to make it much more of an enjoyable viewing experience for all of you. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed it. Massive thank you to the patrons who already donate. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.